Have you ever wondered what 10 of the most widely used chords in cinematic and epic music are? Hi there, it's Simon from Composing Academy, and today I'm going to show you 10 common chord progressions which you can use in your own cinematic compositions. You would have heard these progressions in countless film scores, video game music and movie trailers, and they can be a great way of providing a starting point when writing your own piece. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more music theory and composing tips and tricks. Before we start, let's go over what a chord progression actually is. A chord progression is basically a sequence of chords played one after another. A lot of songs or pieces are based around a 4-chord progression, which repeats over and over. That's what we'll be looking at here. Chords are usually represented by both their names and a Roman numeral. Roman numerals essentially give a chord a number based on its starting note of the scale of whichever key you are in. So if you are in the key of C major, the chord of C major would be chord 1. The chord of G major, on the other hand, would be chord 5. When a chord is major, it is shown in uppercase, and when it is minor, it is shown in lowercase. All of the following chord progressions are in the key of C major. They can easily be transposed to another key, usually at the touch of a button using a DAW such as Cubase or Logic, or notation software such as Sibelius. Okay, so let's take a look at this first progression. Here we have the progression of A minor, F major, C major, and G major, or chord 6, 4, 1, and 5 in the key of C major. This first one is a very common progression used widely in songs as well as cinematic and epic music. You would have heard it thousands of times. Progression 2. Next we have the chords of C, G, A minor, and F. That is chords 1, 5, 6, and then 4. This progression is extremely common again, used also in thousands of pop songs. Progression 3. C, F, A minor, and G, or chords 1, 4, 6, and 5. Again, this is another progression which you hear all the time, especially in film soundtracks, often used for heroic sounding music. Progression 4. This one is A minor, C, G, and D minor, or chords 6, 1, 5, and 2. The 2 minor chords in this progression give the chords a sad quality to them. Progression 5. A minor, E minor, G, and D, or chords 6, 3, 5, and 2. Having the 2 minor chords at the beginning gives this progression a somber feel initially, but then it finishes with an uplifting feel because of the D major chord at the end. Progression 6. A minor, F, G, and E minor. That's chords 6, 4, 5, and 3. Again, this sounds a little bit more sad due to the two minor chords in this progression. Progression 7 is A minor, F, G, and D, and that's chords 6, 4, 5, and 2. The last chord is a D major instead of D minor. This gives the music an inspiring and uplifting feel. On to progression 8, we have C, F, D minor, and G. That's chords 1, 4, 2, and 5. Finishing on G major gives this progression the feel that it is moving forward on a journey. Progression 9. This one is C, E minor, G, and D, or chords 1, 3, 5, and 2. Again, the D major at the end helps to give this progression an uplifting feel. And finally, on to progression 10. Here we have a D minor, F, A minor, and G. And that is chord 2, 4, 6, and 5. This progression feels majestic and soaring, and is another common one used in music for Hollywood productions. So there we go, 10 cinematic sounding chord progressions to use in your next piece. Don't be afraid of borrowing chord progressions that you hear in other music. Starting with a given progression can be a great source of inspiration to help you get started with a piece. Have a play around with progressions which you like, and remember it's easy to transpose into another key in most software such as Logic or Cubase, or even notation programs such as Sibelius. Also be sure to check out my previous video on using Roman numerals in chord progressions to help you get to grips with this system of identifying chords. Remember, if you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more music theory and composing tips and tricks.